Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. In today's video I'm showing you how we catch cows bulling. Here we have scratch cards. One there's gone changed colour. She says she's ready to be served. And here we are, we're putting another scratch card on a cow. So these change colour when the cow's in heat, because the cow that's on top rubs it clear and shows the colour underneath, then we know she's ready to be served. Right, so we're now just on the computer. So something I've not just shown you yet is each cow's got a tag on as well. So they have a pedometer strapped to the leg, and we use these as well as scratch cards. So we'll type in a cow that we've just AI'd this morning. So 554. She is there. She calved on the 21st of July this year. Her graph says, if we look just down there, it says she was in heat. So just there, in that bottom corner, there we go, ready for service at 67 days post-calving. So we just need to go on to lactation events and go into this bottom corner here. Where are we? There we are. So add an event. So she hasn't aborted. It always comes up with that because it's top of the list. She's been inseminated today, and the name of the bull she's had was Simba. So that's a conventional bull. So we always put that in there, just so we know. Click add. And there we go, it's popped up there. So it's 69 days into the lactation. And she was served to Simba. Then we add another cow. So go back up here. Put 644 in. So she's another cow. She calved actually in April. So she's 155 days in milk. So we've been struggling to get this cow to come into heat. But the graph, for some reason, it's not picked it up that she's in heat. So you can see a big spike there in her activity, and it dropped off dramatically. So that was to say she was in bulling yesterday, or in heat. So go into lactation events, add an event. She was inseminated again, yep. And she also had Simba. So, oh, not put the S in. And there we go. Popped up there, inseminated today. So, when you get to about 6 weeks post-insemination, so that's 6 weeks from now, we'll scan this cow and it'll hopefully be able to put in that she's pregnancy positive. But in case all this ever fails and the computer gets wiped and all the data goes, we do keep a paper record here as well. So them two there were served today, both to Simba. So normally first time after they've been calved, so the first service, we'll put sex semen in. Now the other cow, well, we'll start with this cow. 644. She's been calved a long time, so 155 days is a long time. We're aiming to get cows to first service about between roughly 40. Anything past 40 days, I'll serve post calving. Aiming first service about 80, so about within 40 days. First service, so 40 to 80 days you want to be aiming to get your first service in. And you really want, if you want we aim to get cows pregnant every 365 days. So the gestation period is 280 days, so you want to be aiming 100 days in milk. She wants to be back in calf again. theoretically. So she's got a long time, so we've not put sex in her, obviously, because that's he's not a sex bull, but we want to be getting her in calf pretty quick, because she's going to have, well, her lactation length's going to be quite considerably long. Really, technically, I could have probably put beef in her, but we decided to put conventional in. And then 554, which was the other cow. Her activity's not a big enough spike, in my opinion, for her to on that graph. I didn't actually see that cow standing in bulling, whereas the 644, the previous cow, I saw standing. So she was definitely in heat. This cow, I've not actually seen her standing. It's just a computer. It's telling me that she is standing. She didn't have a scratch card on either. So this is also important why we put scratch cards on, because the scratch card will rub off and go change colour to say the cow's been in standing, because the cow on top's rubbed on her. This cow never saw her standing, so it wasn't worthy enough, in my opinion, to put sex in her. Also, she's a year older than the other cow. So, no, where it says a date of birth. Should have date of birth somewhere. Identity. There we go, 2017. So that cow is 7 years old. There we are, 17. 15th of October 2017. So she is quite old. She's not a young cow by any means. So, yeah, maybe in an older cow, it's worthy of conventional rather than sexed. Added to the fact that I've not actually seen her standing. So that's a bit of an insight for you on how this computer system works. Right, so these are the scratch cards we put on the cows. So they're called Estratect, breeding indicator. And yeah, this shows you, there we are, to keep them warm, that's one thing. So what I do is I cut them up into sections like this, so they come in along. So imagine 5 stuck together like this. They originally were like this, 5 of them in a long strip. And all I've done is I've cut them up so they were in like a strip of 5. And what I've done now is just got the scissors, cut them into individual ones rather than 5s. And what I'll do is I'll get a pack of them like that, so many a pack like that, put them in my pocket, and then while I'm milking, they keep warm, and then you pull one out, stick it on a cow, job's a good one. So that's just what I do, it works quite well. So yeah, these are the stickers. So the intention is if that black bit rubs off in that black zone, you breed the cow. That's what the black bit's for. And it's just like a normal scratch card that you'd get from, I don't know, shop, wherever, and you just scratch it off and you know if you've won any money or out. But this is different. We win a prize of a bulling cow instead, so it rubs clear, and that's how that works. There's many different types. We have got some Kamer heat detectors, which I'll go and show you now. Right, so these are the Kamer heat detectors. So these are slightly different. So this is the box they come in, and this is one I've got ready earlier. So this is different in the fact it's, so we'll put a scratch card inside of it. So these are slightly different. So instead of it being a scratch card, if it's a silver that scratches off, this reacts differently in the fact that the cow that's riding the cow, instead of it rubbing a scratch card off, it presses down on this. I'm not going to press on it very hard, but that is like an ink cartridge inside that. And as it pushes down on it and squashes it, the ink shoots out this end and makes it all go red. That way you know you've got a cow in heat then. and it doesn't have a, like these have a piece of plastic on the back you just pull off and it sticks on. Instead, these have glue. There's your glue, Kema glue. Very strong stuff, to be fair, from my experience of this glue. It would stick a lot of things. A load of safety warnings about danger, extremely flammable, what have you. It's actually made in the USA. Now, I thought these were different because I thought they were actually made in New Zealand. I actually thought they were like an Australian design, but no, they're actually an American. And then we've got a bag just full of them. So yes, I do use a mix of either. My preferred ones are the scratch cards, but I don't not like them, so I do like them. But yeah, that's your different things for heat detection. And then obviously we've got the breeder tags on the legs as well, so it'll show up on the computer if a cow is in heat. And then that also is like a double whammy, proves that the cow is also in heat. I like to make sure, if you know what I mean. Especially when you're using sex semen. Because that's what we want. We don't want to be serving cows that aren't actually in a true heat. Right, so we've now got 2 cows in the race ready to be served. So here we have me with the AI flask, which is sited in the pump room, which is at the side between the parlour and the dairy and the washroom. And this is where we keep the bull semen, which is frozen in liquid nitrogen at roughly minus 290 degrees, if I remember right. If I'm wrong, someone can please correct me. I don't claim to know it all. But here we have, I've put the semen into the thawing flask, so the semen is kept in the flask at minus 200 odd degrees, and then it's when there's a cow ready to be served, we get it out, put it into a flask where it warms it to body temperature within 30 seconds. And there's me just showing you the name of the bull on the screen now. So now it goes into an AI gun, which goes into the cow, and then we cut the crimped end off, and then the other end's got a cotton wool bud plunger, which the gun pushes the cotton wool bud through to push the semen out. Then the sheath goes over the top, holds it all together, and then it's sterile, ready to go into the back of the cow. So it's all sterile and clean, and it's all kept nice and clean and safe. And also I put it down the back of my jumper, so it's kept warm. Right, so here we have the first cows in the race. Her scratch card's changed colour. She was the cow we saw at the beginning of the video. With her scratch card it's gone red. So this means she's ready to be served. So 677, this is the first time. So I think it was sex semen I was putting in her at the time. That's gone, so I've put the camera down now. And what we'll do next is we'll get a paper towel, grab a tail, lube the back end up, put my arm through into the rectum, and then we'll pick up the cervix through the rectum, and then I put the AI gun through the cow's vagina through to the cervix, and then use my hand that's inside the cow to wriggle the AI gun through the cervix just into the uterus, and then there's normally about 3 rings inside the cervix, and then once it's gone past all 3, just make sure that the AI gun's just through the other side, which I'll feel with my finger, just pass on through the rectum, and then deposit the semen there. And then, because if you go too far, you'll end up down the uterine horns, which is where the egg travels down, which goes up to the ovaries. But if you put it up the wrong, if you go too far and go up the horns, you run the risk of putting it up the wrong horn, and then the egg's coming down the wrong side, and you've just wasted the straw of semen. She's done now, so we'll take the sticker off. That says that she's done we've served her. So take the gun off, put it all inside the glove, it's all nice and clean. Just left, one last job is to just let her out. Right, so we've just AI'd this cow, 246, and she had an orange scratch card on that to change colour. I'll see if I can do a pop-up for it. And this hasn't obviously picked up that she's in heat. Now, that is various reasons why it hasn't done that. That's because the cows, one of the bigger reasons will be the cows have been, the weather's been so awful this last few days. Activity dropped off the chart then her activity's risen and risen again, and it's not picked up that she's in heat. So I know that she is in heat because the scratch cards changed colour, but if I relied on just this system with the pedometers, it wouldn't have worked. So we'll just put it in. So we put in that she was inseminated today. She had Simba, which is a conventional Frisian. That should have popped up, that's popped up. And then the other cow up here, 775, there we go. So we'll just pop it in that we've inseminated her. Insemination, and she's had actually sex scenes, so she's had dairy man. Sexed. So we always put sexed. On the conventional, don't bother. And then beef, we just put the breed that the beef breed is. So there we go. Similar story. Activity dropped off the chart then, right in this bottom corner, because of the weather. Then it that went back to normal. Then it's risen again because she was actually in heat. So this didn't pick up that she was in heat, because it's not the system's fault. It's just plainly because the weather and activities all over the place basically just because of the weather. That's a disadvantage of this. The disadvantage of scratch cards would be the fact that when they're inside, they'll get rubbed on cubicles. They're more prone to getting rubbed on cubicles, so they'll go where a false positive. Also, we have a cow brush, and the brush can obviously, if a cow goes and rubs under it, the brush can rub the scratch card and come up with a false positive that way. But I don't have many bad. I don't know what's happened there. But I don't have any more false. I don't have many bad experiences with scratch cards, and I don't have much bad experience with this. It's a pain when the weather's not on its side. But for now, I'll leave the video as that. So if you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe below if you can, if you've enjoyed it. And as always, I do keep a paper record as well. So just in case the computer fails, we have got the paper record here as well. So 775 Dairyman Sext, 246 AI Simba. So yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for watching.